Good morning.
Hi.
Morning.
Good
Hello.
morning.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. And good, we got some people here this morning. That's good to see. All right, let's start. Can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
All right.
Mhm.
Okay, St. Patrick's Day. And who got my assignment? Who wrote an essay on the meaning of St. Patrick's Day?
I didn't. I think it's about green beer.
It is.
Yes.
It is. But that's to recognize our country's heritage as it pertains to Ireland, which is huge. There's a lot of Irish names in my family background. And there were two good social media posts on 21 Online for St. Patrick's Day. And people like to celebrate St. Patrick's Day because it comes in a bit of a lull for holidays, and it gives you something to do. You can wear green and give out little green things. All right. Okay, well, welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate for March 13th, 2024. And we have 2 months down of this year, and a little over 2 months. 10 months to go for all of us in real estate. And I want to talk a little bit about the inventory shortage, which is an ongoing conversation on our industry. In fact, I just this morning saw an email from Mario congratulating his agents in Idaho on all the closings they've just done, and remind them that they've gone now from 11 listings down to 3. And we have to have inventory to sell.
Uh-huh.
So this is an ongoing conversation, and it's a problem that's very solvable. The answer to that is obvious, and I'll get to it. And the reason why we're having a hard time with it is that the majority of agents in real estate today work with buyers versus sellers. That's what's happened today. And you'll want to open your mind to the fact that we can do transactions on a regular basis if we talk to people. That's the only way to get listings. Sellers are not attracted to the internet like buyers are. It's a very different process. Buyers want to look at lots of houses. They want to go surf the internet. They want to find the house themselves. And eventually they will click on a realtor. Sellers, it's not that way. You actually have to go find them. And it's all about talking to people. That's how realtors do it. This leads us to past clients and centers of influence. What did we hear, Shauna, at the convention? Somebody said, I never call them past clients because they are my clients.
Current. Yeah.
Sphere
Current
of
clients.
influence, your database, your
Database.
whatever, your peeps.
Yeah, your clientele. Lawyers don't call people past clients because for lawyers, they're not past clients. They're always forever tied to that person. So it's just another way to look at it.
You may only see your doctor once a year, but
It's still your doctor.
it's still your physician, right?
So there's an abundance of things we can do with our clients and centers of influence. And there's an abundance of people that we can talk to. So as you know, I recommend 20 contacts a day, 5 days a week. 100 contacts a month is going to get you, in most cases, if you follow this advice, 2 or 3 reasonable leads per month. And on 2 or 3 reasonable leads per month, if you do proper follow-up, you're going to make presentations and get contracts signed. And it's what? It's a numbers game. It is absolutely a numbers game. And it's stacked in your favor. You just have to put in the time and work through the contacts to get those numbers. What did our coach say as well? He said something funny. He said, you get into a routine when you do that and you're afraid to succeed. You knock on a door. Hello, would you like to sell your house? No, goodbye. Knock on the second door. Would you like to sell your house? No, goodbye. Knock on the third door. Would you like to sell your house? Yes. What? What? Yeah. What do I do now? You want to run away because you've gotten into a routine of no's, and you're surprised by the yes. But the yes is inevitable. You will always come to that yes if you knock on enough doors, if you reach out and contact enough people. So what's the key to success? It's open your mind to the fact that we can do transactions on a regular basis if we talk to people. And I know it's a hard thing for a lot of people to accept in real estate, but the people that are listing and selling homes and high volume today and yesterday and last year and the year before and the last 20, 30, 40, and 50 years have always been in the habit of talking to people daily. Create a habit, create better production, create a higher profit, create better business for yourself. And let's take advantage of the new year and the stabilized interest rates and the promise of lower interest rates and well, houses prices going up, but it's going to be a great year. And remember to treat your business like a business.
Yep.
And let's have a look at our production. Panda Road. Okay, the first thing I want to look at is Panda Road.
Stephen Burright.
Is that right? Okay.
Mhm.
Looks like a castle.
Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah.
And it can be yours for 1.5, almost 1.6 million.
1.6 mil. Okay. I'm looking for acres, 5+ acres. Okay. All right. Congratulations, Steve Burright. There's some inventory. Let's add on a few of those. Let's see. So I forgot Kung is not in today. Where is Kung? He's at the coast.
Yes.
All right. He's at the coast on a semi-business trip.
Yes. Semi business. Yeah.
Right. Right.
I know his world has been really busy. I see Faye is here, and I know she's got 2 things, like 2 or 3 pending. You may
Right.
have those stats.
That's right. And Nyath as well has listings. Let's how are things in Washington?
Really going well. We're also looking for listings always still because they sell pretty quickly. That second one there for 184.9. I got into contract right away. It's a manufactured home in a park, but it's a gated community. It's over 55 and just kind of a really nice, she's done a nice updates on it. So the kitchen was remodeled, all new appliances. She extended her patio and she put in some garden beds and a hot tub. So that's why I got the listing.
Oh my gosh, it was right out of the script. Oh my goodness.
I know. But yes, the sign went up and I took out flyers and she says, I'm not sure that we needed that because we're pending. And I said, well, we can't get complacent and not do all the little details. We have to continue on because I'm kind of superstitious that way. You got to put the sign up if that's what you intended to do. And you got to put the flyers out if that's what you intended to do. Besides, people get upset when there's no flyers in there, right?
Mhm.
That's right.
Want the service. Yes.
Yeah, so we'll be doing our inspection on that tomorrow and see how that goes, but I don't expect any problems. I actually picked up 2 buyers myself who are signing buyer brokerage agreements with me so that I can help them find their house once they get here from California.
Very good.
Yep.
Michelle
Very
Kovalov
good.
has that beautiful listing there in Southwest Portland. I don't know if we talked about it last week. We were out of town, so we may want to cover that one.
Well, that's a beauty.
Yeah, she had an open house, and I think she's got an offer that just came in when she dropped off the signs yesterday.
Okay.
Garden home.
Another one about 1.5 million. Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Beautiful.
nice. The photographs well. That's for sure. Wow. Almost too well. It doesn't look real.
I know, we got to go check that one out. You have to go see it.
Who lives like that? Who can keep it that clean?
I don't know, is it virtually staged?
Is it? Maybe it is.
I don't know,
I don't
I-
know.
I think
not,
the thing,
not my world.
I think the thing, hers go really quick because they build in established neighborhoods, Raleigh Hill Garden Home, so new builds in very, established neighborhoods in Southwest Portland.
All right. That is nice house.
Hmm.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Let's see. Mario, did you make it?
He did, he left and came back a few times.
Okay.
Oh, is that him? That may be.
I think so.
No. I'll come back to him.
Yes, when he comes back, we'll do that.
Unless Shelley, do you know of anything new? Can you hear me? Because I did see some activity in Idaho.
Yeah, I know they went pending on a handful.
Well, I'll just put up a pretty picture here. There's an Idaho house.
Yes.
Can't go wrong with that.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Gorgeous.
Okay, very good. The inventory's down. And that's what we need to work on. We
We
need to,
sold it, so now we need more.
right.
There's your answer from Shelley. Lee got accepted offer on her listing on Ray Avenue in Caldwell. Jeff wrote up. I missed it.
Let's see. Jeff wrote up an accepted offer in Caldwell. Mario's closing on Chicago. I think I saw that. Lee's listing on Dearborn closes today. Okay. Yeah, that's their problem. They got too many closings and not enough inventory today. So they just cleared out the store and now need to replenish it.
Right.
So good job.
Yes.
Good job in Idaho. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. The events that are coming up, there's the Superstar Retreat for Mike Ferry at the Venetian in Las Vegas. Consider going to that. It's I don't want to say it's a once in a lifetime event because it's an annual event, but if you only go to it once in your life, you'll always remember it because there is so much information there. We've got the Century 21 Florida experience, the Realtors Conference in Boston in November. And Portland has a lunch and learn Thursday at 12 o'clock. And there's some information on that. And this one's important, it looks like, because we're going to do the forms update, the Oregon real estate forms update. And if you click on this link to the PDF branch, it should pull up that slideshow that is going to be presented. So you definitely don't want to miss that one. And he will be providing CE credits for that. Shauna, do you have a lunch and learn to announce?
Yes, I have one next Wednesday for
Okay.
our Washington folks, and we're gonna review the much overdone buyer agency agreement just to make sure everybody's on board, remembering to do that because I know it's not. I mean, if you've been doing this so long and then all of a sudden you have to change everything you're doing and get an agreement before you go out and start showing properties, it's just a little different. I mean, even for the newer people, you get excited and you just don't want to forget that. So I want to go over that, make sure everybody knows how to fill out the form. And we have a lender joining us just to another part of this is going to be talking about our value because asking somebody to sign an agreement, we need to learn how to express our value to them. And so we're going to do that. And then we're going to have some lunch presented by the lender. So that'll be wonderful.
Oh, nice.
Very good. Now, will that be in your new conference room?
Will, I don't know. I have to find out if we could eat in there. I don't, or if I'm just going to book it and have the food right next door and we'll come right in here. I don't know how that's going to work yet. But I guess if all else fails, I can arrange for one of the bigger conference rooms because I'm pretty sure you can in there. So we'll see.
I don't know why not.
Either way, it's a beautiful
I
space
love it here. I really, really love
to
it
be
here.
utilized. Yes.
Good. Good. Very good. Okay. All right, let's get to how is the market. And you want to be the great real estate agent who can explain what's happening. So explain this. Interest rates dropped slightly and expected to drop more in 2024. I guess that's the news. The news is we started out the year looking like they were going to come down and maybe come down to 6.5 and may even come down to 5. And we're just waiting. We're still expecting that. And it's, it's the middle of March and we're still expecting that. And it's not happening right now. And all of this relies on not only what the Fed does, but what the Fed tells us they're going to do. The Fed actually is good about telling the world that they intend to do something and when they intend to do it. And so we're waiting for them to say, we're going to lower the interest rates in a month or 2 months. They'll actually announce that. And that will give us some relief. But they're more stable now. So the news is this week's mortgage rates, they snapped a month-long trend of increases, bringing a small measure of relief to potential home buyers gearing up for the spring buying season. However, concerns remain about affordability, with home prices still elevated and inventory staying tight. So the 30-year fixed rate is 6.88, and the rate for the 15-year is 6.22. So have a look. There's a little more on that, and you can always click money.com at the bottom of that paragraph for some more information. And I would definitely, you could just drag this chart off of this blog into your email and send it to your clients and sphere of influence so they can see what's happening as well. Another thing that's driving this is a consumer price index of inflation, 3.1, and that's reported monthly by the federal government, and it's staying the same. So that's good news. We'd like that to go to 2 also. The absorption rate is, I need to look at Portland and see, we have 2.8 months of inventory. And so the absorption rate at 2.8 months, as you can see at the bottom of the chart, is a seller's market. Favors the seller. And the affordability index, I'm going to update this, but it's come up slightly to 90. And that's good news also. And who would like to read the jobs report today? Before I pick somebody. How do you get the jobs report? Where is this?
Who's doing it? Oh my gosh, who's
I'll
so
read it.
excited?
Well, thank you.
Hey, Kat.
Thank you. Let's do this. There it is. Okay. Yeah, just the first couple paragraphs so that we're all in the know about what's happening. Can you see that okay?
I can see it, yeah.
What's happening?
Okay, so the latest jobs figures displayed a mixed picture. Another solid 275,000 net new payroll jobs were added in February. There are 5.5 million more jobs now compared to the pre-COVID record high in early 2020. However, the unemployment rate went up to 3.9% because a different measurement of jobs from a household survey rather than a company survey showed 184,000 fewer workers. The monthly wage rise of 0.14% was the slowest in 2 years, though the annual wage gain of 4.3% is above the consumer price inflation of 3.1%. Job additions build up the long-term real estate demand for housing, retail spaces, warehouses, and hotel travel, but not necessarily for office spaces. The short-term timing of purchase is dependent upon mortgage rates and inventory availability. Home sales recorded the lowest activity in 23 in nearly 30 years. Note that there are 158 million payroll jobs today compared to 117 million when home sales were similarly low. It implies sizable potential real estate demand demand on the sidelines, ready to pounce once short-term conditions move favorably.
There we go.
Ooh.
Up demand. These are there's so many talking points in here about what's happening in the country today, but there is definitely pent up demand. You know, things that are positive, annual wages are increasing above the rate of inflation, so it's a net positive. And something else we're talking about is there are huge changes in commercial real estate and office space happening right now. If you own a tower in Manhattan, you have probably already got bids on converting it to condominiums or apartments.
Or hotels, apparently.
Or at hotels or any kind of mixed use. Well, the writing's been on the wall. Every tower I've seen, the Ritz-Carlton in Portland has just opened. And yes, it's a Ritz-Carlton, but there's only a few hundred rooms of Ritz-Carlton. There's also a few hundred office spaces, and then there's a few hundred condominiums. And that's how buildings are built today, high rises. They have mixed use and more flexibility so that they don't get into this situation again, where one thing goes out of fashion and then nobody wants to rent from you. All right. So yeah, take a look at that. And there's the charts to go along with it. And let's see, who else? Nick, I'm just going to do one of these this week.
So in the future, are we going to choose are we going to rotate through the
Yeah, we're going to rotate these. So we'll just do the role play just once. So Nick, how is the market in Portland?
Well, we are seeing an increase in home prices as interest rates are expected to drop this year. Portland is currently a seller's market. The average days on the market is up to 89 days from 68, with 2.8 months of inventory. The median home prices have increased 3.8% over last year from $500 to $519,000. Interest rates are currently at 6.88 and are expected to continue to go down over time, though this might fluctuate. In the Portland metro area.
No, you're there. It's a great time to list.
Yes. It's always
still
a great time to list. Yep.
Okay. Still favorable to sellers and buyers.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So there's your elevator speeches all ready for you.
Yes.
And what I'd like to see somebody do is we want to do blogs on a regular basis on your MoxieWorks website. And instead of reinventing the wheel, even though they do like original content, but you could take a lot of material off of this blog here that I wrote this week and present that on a weekly basis. Just a quick how's the market, and just cut and paste your area, cut and paste any links to any articles I said that would be of interest to your clients. That would be a good thing to do, because we'll be talking more about social media in the future and what to do with your Moxie websites and what kind of content you should be doing there on a regular basis. And that's very valuable because that brings people to your website. The SEO optimization is very valuable. And that's something that you can, that needs some attention. I think it's probably much more valuable than any other social media post, because it's boosting your website and not just your presence among your friends. Okay, updated as far as training and best practices. I updated the Accelerate schedule. They have the next one coming up is April 8th through May 8th. Accelerate is the 4-week program. The virtual Go List, a shorter, more intense program about getting a listing, will be running April 30th to May 31st, and a 21-day challenge, April 10th through May 17th. And I'd like the managers to see if that's something that they'd like to promote in their branch and really get people to do, as that's an excellent time of year to try to bring people together talking about real estate and having a 21-day challenge, and then seeing, who wins that challenge and have some fun with that.
I really feel like if you don't have at least, 5 or 6 listings that are going, you need to do one of these things. You need to do something. You have time. This is, these things are very, very valuable and they will create business for you.
Right.
I would also like to point out that we do have an in-house Moxie expert and SEO expert that we could connect you to as well.
Right. Right. And we'll talk about that some more too, but yes. Yeah, that's going to be a focus, is helping everybody get the Moxie website where they want it to be. Okay. I already played that Tom Ferry video. And as some of you know, Nick and Sean and I just got back from the Century 21 conference in Las Vegas in the most beautiful hotel I ever saw, the Fontainebleau. I got a lot of pictures. I was taking pictures of the bathrooms and sending them to my friends. I was just amazed with this place.
It
It's
was
a
beautiful.
stunning hotel. Yes.
Yes. And they had the most luxurious bar with a Steinway in it. And I spent most of my time in there.
So does everybody know what a Steinway is?
It's some kind of piano.
Yeah.
Collins Piano Bar. Yep.
That's right. That's right. And we got to meet the president, and we got to do a lot of fun things. And so we have some notes, and I thought we'd just start a conversation and kind of tell you what we had, and see if anybody has any comments or has any questions. So feel free, everybody, to speak up. And Shauna, what did you think of the conference?
There was a lot of information in this this class particularly. Skyrocket your production. Greg Harrelson has an agent in his office named Kevin Mills, who started, I believe, like 3 or 4 years ago. And the guy is already on vacation permanently because of the things that he did to get his vacation going. He was working really hard. So this was like, just like so much information. So I just have the bullet points so that we can talk about them. Greg Harrelson is one of the people on Century 21 that you should follow if you're not following. Follow him on all his social and his YouTube channel, because he definitely knows what he's doing. He's been coached by Mike Ferry. He's been a coach at the Mike Ferry organization. He is got one of the, I think is it North Carolina that he's in? Somewhere in that area, but he has a huge market.
Yes, it is.
Okay, he's spread out and has several offices, maybe more than several. And so he brought one of his agents on to speak, and he just sat there and asked him the questions about what made him successful. And so we got to hear what this guy did. And what I took away from it was what I put at the very top of this, because when the market changes and everything's going up and down, we have to adjust and work differently. And it really, really stuck to me that I need to go to work like I'm a new agent every day. And what does that mean? That means long hours and talking to a lot of people every day. And that's how I'm going to up my production. And so if you're a new agent, this will be good for you, right? So basically what he said is he needed to know what to say. And what you do to learn what to say is you memorize scripts. And in my notes, I had a little bit more information on that. What he said is you say the scripts over and over again, super fast, and it's a muscle memory. He was actually talking about memorizing it to the point where your mouth just does it. So that's how important the scripts are to them and when they're building their business and what they're doing to coach their agents. So learning the scripts, I know, Kat, you and I have talked about going back in and starting the expired scripts again. And so we can remember what to say and the different things to say. Have
Yeah.
you took those, Kat?
Not yet.
But we need to, right? That's
Yeah,
something
we do.
we need to do is even though we've done them before, we might be out of practice. And
Yeah.
it was really, really important. In fact, he didn't allow his newer agents to even start making the calls until about 3 months after they practiced and learned the scripts. So that is a huge part of how to get your business going, is to know what to say.
Mhm.
I mean, we can go on about that. I mean, what happens when you know what to say? What happens to your confidence?
That's really the core issue of what coaching is and training is. It just relates exactly to you're learning what to say. And some of the objections we get to that is, well, I read that script, I hate it. Yes, so that's fine. Then you're not going to read that script like a telemarketer. You're going to have all of that knowledge in your brain to use as needed.
Write
And
your own script.
you can write your own script, but you want to learn these things. There were some presenters, like any conference, there was some presenters, and there was a very good one. And I realized he must have, before he took his show on the road, he must have stood in front of a mirror or a camera and done this hundreds of times, because it was flawless, and he just knew what to say. And
He knew what the reactions were going to be and how he would react to those reactions.
that's right.
And that was a huge part of your training, is just knowing how to sound like, well, to know what you're talking about, but to not stumble over your words.
To not
And
stumble over them and to know your objections. And kind of like a comedian, you better have a joke ready. You better have 1,000 jokes in your head before you go
Right.
out there.
yeah, you want to sound authentic. You want to sound like you are sincere. You don't want to sound like you're reading a script. That's for sure. That's not the idea of learning your scripts. It's not to sound like you're talking from a script. It's just to know what to say and give you the confidence of what to
Right.
say.
Gives you the confidence.
Yeah, after 25 years, almost 30 years in the business, I had never practiced scripts. And once I did that, I found my success rate and my signature rate go up quite a bit. I knew what to say. And I felt confident, and they can feel your confidence when you're talking, when you feel confident. So
They do. Yeah, it really comes through. When I started, I had scripts. They weren't Mike Ferry scripts, but they were very similar. And I just had them on the desk in front of me, and I would make calls. And yeah, at first you need that, you memorize. I didn't memorize the scripts, which I wish I had, because if you don't memorize it, then you're kind of stuck with going in order. I've got nothing to say but the next thing on the list. And that might not be the next thing to say. I should know that script so well that I can say what's appropriate at any time.
yeah. And there are some scripts that I did memorize. I think that I should probably go and do it again. I never realized that I could actually do it as a muscle memory. I never thought of it that way, but that's exactly what he said. He says, say it really super fast over and over and over again, and you'll know what to say. And how much easier is that going to be to ad lib and put in the things that you want? just makes it simple, and it makes it so you can talk to those people every day. He talked to 80 people every day,
Mhm.
80 people. So out of those 80, you know, how many people did he get appointments with? Maybe 1 or 2. But still, if you get 1 or 2 appointments a day, that's more than what you're getting by not calling anybody. So that's why I decided I need to just act like I'm a new agent every day. That's the only way I'm going to get out of this slower. I need to go get listings. I have 3 listings right now. Oh, wait. 3 or 4. Only 2 of them are available. One of them just went back on the market, and one of them, which I'm going to go over in a minute, is part of this. It's something a little different than what Mike Ferry teaches, but I'm actually going to skip to it right now, and it says don't turn down listings that are overpriced. And he made a big point of that, because right now we have a lot of people who think their house is worth, or they're waiting for what happened in 2021, 22. They're waiting for those things to happen to their house when they sell it. And it's not going to, probably, unless it's very special and at a price that people can afford. So I have a listing right now that I've had on the market for a couple months. It hasn't been showed all that much. It's in rental status, but the renters will be gone April 1st. So even though I felt like it probably needed a price drop, I knew that the seller wasn't going to drop it right away, and he's made comments. So if I would have turned down that listing, like there's some coaches out there that say don't take an overpriced listing, but Greg had a different take on that. So and he's been around a long time, so he knows the different markets. And I feel like this was really important. If you take that listing, in 21 days, you can ask for the price reduction. And he has a system where that's going to work. And I've been talking with my clients since the convention, and he and I have decided that we want to drop the price when the renter gets out and try to sell it in a 2-week period of time. During that time, he's going to be contacting some contractors to do some paint and cleanup and different things to make the house nicer for a better price. But I said, why not drop the price by that amount that you're going to spend, and let's see if we can sell it without you doing all that work. So that's our plan right now. He's him and hawing in about $5,000 at this point in time, which doesn't matter to me. I feel like if
Yeah. So would you say, just to summarize that the idea is, because the traditional advice is don't take overpriced listings because they're not going to sell, and the listing will just expire and go to another agent, and then the seller's worn out, and they'll lower the price. I think what Mike Harrelson was saying was, well, let them know it's overpriced. You're going to take it, and I will take it at that price, and let's try out the market. And let's try it out for 21 days or whatever, 2 weeks, whatever it is. And that's the difference. Let them know ahead of time what you plan to do. You don't plan to list it at that price for 6 months. You're not going to do that. So that's the difference.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can tell them without offending them. You could say, I kind of feel like it's overpriced, but we'll go ahead and do this. And then, make sure that they know that you think that, because when it's time, you can say, remember, I told you it might be a little overpriced. That way they don't do the relist and they don't go with another agent and drop the price because you didn't ever tell them. Absolutely. That's the most important part of this, is that they know ahead of time what your plan is, but don't let it go. Don't not take the listing, take the listing. But ask for that price drop, which there's a script for that too.
Okay. What's the next point?
Well, when you were talking this morning about, you got to talk to all the different people, time block that. Put your phone away and just do the phone calls. get into your Moxie Engage and just start calling the people. You may not want to call 80 people a day, but make an effort and call as many as you can. I don't think I can call 80 people, but down below I have places to get phone numbers. Because that could be one of the hardest things, I think. And do you guys agree? Getting the phone numbers to call, getting good quality phone numbers to call. If you're not calling your database, if you're going, say you're a new agent, you just are calling to get, new clients and add them to your database. They had some ideas of who to call. We have the Kohl's directory here. We have that available to us. If you need something, reach out to the Portland office and they'll get it for you. And there's Mojo, they said, Vulcan, Forewarn, and Greg didn't mention it, but his agent did. It's called Exact Dial, and that is actually Greg's company. And he said that is 100% where he gets his phone numbers. He said it's the best phone number access that he has came across yet. So I think I'm going to try that. I would like to see myself doing some more of that, cold calling, just to see, how that one works. I might subscribe to it for a short time.
That's a good idea. Of course, we have the Kohl directory for you. If you want to work a neighborhood, just call your manager and tell them what you're doing so that we can get you the right list for that. And Vulcan 7, I haven't looked into that too much, but that's an entire system. You tell them what you want to do, and they will get you that on an ongoing basis. And if I'm not mistaken, they also have some technology where you can make the calls online with your PC. So I'd love to know what Greg is doing. And yeah, why don't you at least talk to them, Shauna, and tell us how that works and tell us the price as well.
In that, because the guy that did the 80 calls every day, Kevin Mills, he uses that one. And Greg was not promoting it because it's his own company. He felt like that was a conflict. So
Okay.
he didn't promote that. So I'm gonna check it out and see what I can find out.
Nice. Nice.
So
Okay.
another thing they really talked about also was learn from your mistakes. I guess if you're not out there doing stuff, you're not going to make mistakes. And that's the biggest, isn't that the biggest reason why most of us aren't out there making those phone calls, is we don't want to make a mistake or someone tell us no.
You can't make a mistake. There's always another call.
Yes, that's right. And the only way you can make breakthroughs is in those times when you're learning, is when you're going to make breakthroughs and get better at your job and remember how to handle situations, improve your business, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. What's some points I've heard is why get embarrassed about what you say to somebody you don't know and are never going to see again and never going to talk to again? What's the point of that?
You just take what you learned, what you did and apply it to the next call. So
Exactly.
even
Yeah.
when we all first started doing our role playing, I remember all of us stumbling through it. And even now we probably could. It's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
But don't let that stop you from doing what you need to do. And they talked a little bit about staying focused on your core, on the things that are working for you. Obviously, that for me is going to be my database. I have to keep out in front of people. I have to keep going to all the functions. You just got to be present.
That's right. Does anyone else want to comment on any of these points? Or raise a related issue? I know Nick makes a lot of calls and he's doesn't mind rejection, and he gets a little bit of rejection from time to time.
I think just remember, no matter what you're doing, to just be unapologetic as an independent contractor and be proud of the fact that you are an independent contractor, because it's a small population. And you're gonna have bad days where it just feels like you've been kind of climbing up a sandy dune and sliding back down. So just unapologetically move forward, and keep making the phone calls. And yeah, you're going to get many more no's than you are yeses. And you're not alone. Nobody has it easy.
That's right.
Yeah, if you're feeling discouraged, just reach out to one of us. We all know what it's like.
And that's why going to these Century 21 and Mike Ferry groups, if you can, is important, because a lot of the stories are those trials. Some of the top realtors and brokerages in the company will stand up and tell you where they started.
Yeah.
Kat, did you unmute because you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just like what Nick said about being unapologetic and be proud that you're a private contractor. 'Cause
Yes.
that very much rang true to me.
There is a sentiment with some people, not a huge amount of people, but there is a sentiment of some people that you're wrong or pushy or whatever, and you're really just trying to keep your independent business alive. And very often those people don't have a business.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. They don't understand where you're coming from if they've never done it before. And that's why I'm as nice as I can be to salespeople and contacts, people who call and do that.
Mhm.
Also, so then that way it kind of makes it easier to take the rude people with a grain of salt. So you're like, you don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
You don't know what this is like.
No.
You
Yeah.
don't know my
No.
business.
And this is no offense, because as long as people are happy in their life,
Yeah.
it could be that they just answer to someone and that's a more comfortable place for them. And that's
Yeah.
okay. But I do know that people like us that make those calls and put in the effort and the blood, sweat, and tears of building their own business by choice, because that's what we chose. They do take those calls better. And I know I treat callers better because I know that they're trying.
Yeah.
Oh, I always have to. I always say that, I appreciate the call. Thanks for calling me. I have no interest in what you're selling, but thank you.
Yeah.
And then hang up. You don't have to argue with them.
Yeah.
Say
I'm
something
a hang-
nice and hang up. And that makes it easier to hang up. You don't feel like a jerk. You
Yeah.
thank them. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Have a great day. Click.
But then hang up.
I always treat a caller well. Yeah, that is one thing I will never do again. I always, not that I ever had a reputation for being rude to callers, but I really, in particular, I go out of my way to mention, I know what you're doing right now. And I really wish you the best, because it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not interested in your product at this time.
I want to make a really quick point, Kat, since you're here and we're going to do expireds.
Yeah.
There's a thing in here that talks about a part of what he did was expires, and they asked him, how many times do you call the expires? And I didn't realize what they were talking about, because they don't pick up the phone. And he asked him and he said, oh geez, 30 times. I mean, the guy was relentless. So,
Yeah.
but he said, seriously, at least 3 to 5 times I call. Because if there is, 20 people, 30 people calling on expireds, and you're all calling the same people, then the one that calls the most has the best chance, because they're going to be aggressive and they're going to look eager to get through. And I thought that was very interesting. I never thought about that. You call, you don't leave a message, just hang up, call back in 5 minutes, hang up, call back in 5 minutes. And that's what he said he does.
Okay.
Well, he
Yeah.
gets an answer. Yep.
Relentless. That's one of C21's.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Relentless.
Yeah.
Right.
Relentless.
And
Well, I
remember,
wanna-
you're providing them a service. So if they want it, they're going to be thankful that you made the effort.
That's true.
And I got that both in sales and in nonprofit. Like when I was selling theater packages to the Armory, Portland Center Stage at the Armory, they would give the theater $10,000 and they would say to me, "Thank you for finally catching me. I've donated for 15 years. Yes, here's my credit card." And these are donors, or people that going, "Yes, we've had those seats at that theater for 5 years. I'm so busy. Thank you for finally catching me. Here's my credit card. Yes, we want those 6 seats at that theater."
Right. Right. Okay. Well, I want to end on this note because Mike Harrelson also said something very blunt. So I want you to do some soul searching and listen to this. He said, "You realtors are being sold social media because this is an easy thing to do." Okay. And the number of listings is being concentrated in a very small number of agents right now. 10% of agents are doing over 90% of the listings. It's a greater concentration than ever, which leaves 90% of the realtors dabbling with social media and not getting listings. And that's a hard thing to say, but I believe it's true. Now, the exception to that is try to promote your website and get some SEO. But you have to talk to real people. You have to find real people to talk to. The computer can't do that. Zillow can't do that. Only you can do that. And just make those contacts and face that rejection and face whatever issues you have with that. Like I say, you have to do some soul searching, but you have to face that because I think that's true.
Be friendly and enjoy people. Nothing will beat standing in that long grocery store line and looking over at someone, making eye contact and starting a conversation.
That's it.
Yeah, don't get complacent. Don't get one deal going and stop, because that
Right.
deal may not close, and that you could be with 0 that quick. Don't
Right.
get complacent. Keep
Tell them you
going.
love their scarf. Start there. And say, "By the way," come up with something fun. People like to be flattered. Start with some flattery and then just enjoy talking to them.
Do it till you get a success because that's what's going to motivate you. It's hard to get started doing that kind of thing or to get back into doing that kind of thing. But just do it. Just say, "Look, I'm going to do this until I get a listing."
Right.
Okay. And that's what'll keep you going to the next one.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Great discussion. And I appreciate everybody being here. And we'll do this again next week.
Call us if you need us.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. I finally got in.
All right.
I heard the meeting, but I'm having some technical issues with the app. I'm not sure why, but I had to clear all my cookies and I think it eventually worked, but I did hear the whole